Hello and welcome to our webinar, Close Business Faster with eSignatures and PCI Payments. I'm Chris Cook, Director of Business Development at Conga. I'm responsible for the Conga Alliance Partner Program, and I have the pleasure of working with our Conga partners to find solutions to make our customers even more successful. Conga integrates with many of the apps on the Salesforce App Exchange, and we encourage you to make purchase decisions based on your evaluation of these apps. Today I'm pleased to be joined by Laura Johnston, Director of Sales at Certify, one of our Conga Alliance partners, as well as Stacy Thorne, Business Systems Analyst and Salesforce Administrator at HomeSphere. Laura is going to share some ways our joint customers are driving sales and closing business faster, and Stacy will be sharing how HomeSphere is using Conga Composer and Certify. We'll be doing an open Q&A at the end of the webinar. If you have questions, please send them to us in the questions window. And with that, I'll turn it over to Laura.
Thanks so much, Chris. I really appreciate it. Hello, everyone. I hope this finds you doing well. Like Chris said, I am Laura Johnston, the Sales Director here at Certify. Super excited about this webinar and also, of course, our integration with Conga, and can't wait to show you guys our solution. I do want to let you know that we have special offer for all the webinar attendees after the Q&A session, which includes pricing that is 50% off, so you don't want to miss that, as well as a conference Dreamforce pass valued at over $900. So let's go ahead and dive right in. A little bit about us, Certify as a company. We were established here in Chicago in 2006. Chicago is actually where our headquarters resides, as well as one of our largest customers, which is CareerBuilder.com. CareerBuilder.com has actually been with us since 2007, and we were recently named Vendor of the Year by them, which was a great honor. We have customers that currently use our solutions across a wide variety of industries, including high-tech, SaaS, financial, hospitality, marketing, nonprofits, communications, media, as well as a lot of integrators and consultants all across the country. I do think it's important to let you know that we aren't just an e-signature solution, rather a closing automation solution. We help you collaborate with your customers as well as collect payments to make the last mile of your sales process a faster and more fluid one. So you'll see that in this webinar, Certify and our integration with Conga, which we are really excited about. Our current Conga and Certified customers really appreciate how just easy the solution works together and how it's a seamless way to automate that last mile of your close in your sales process. Here, you'll actually see some of our current Certified for Salesforce customers that have given us all a overall rating of 4.9 on the App Exchange, which we're really happy about and excited about just because it's the highest rating in our category, so that's a great accomplishment. And like I mentioned before, we don't have a niche market that we work with. As you can see by a handful of our customers, we work with any industry and can work with any use case. So as a business, you obviously want what's best for your customers and probably thinking, how do you make it easier for them to do business with you? Given the option, actually 97% of signers prefer to sign electronically, which tells you that there is a way to improve your current workflow so it's easier on your customers. That being said, we are seeing our current customers getting their contract signed more than 50% faster than traditional methods. Some of the issues, as you can imagine, with those traditional methods includes slowing down the sales cycle because it takes weeks to collect a signed contract and collect payment, high cost to you as a company having to deal with printing, faxing, shipping, and storing paper, not to mention the tedious administration tasks and customers forgetting to fill out necessary forms. So I want to show you here what your customers will actually be seeing and also what the rep's experience is while sending documents. So you're all familiar with this page. This is a view of Conga's newest release, Composer 8. You do not need to upgrade to Composer 8 in order to use Certify with Conga, but we do encourage you to do so as to take advantage of the new performance enhancements, user interface, and other features. With Certify for Conga, you are going to generate your documents and simply send for signature using the Merge and Certify button with one click. If needed, you can also send a payment request. Again, this is optional, but it's a feature that we do have if it makes sense to your use case. So here we'll see the signing experience of what your customers are going to see. This is what your signer is going to receive as far as email. The great thing about Certify is that we want to brand your company. We don't want to take this opportunity to brand ourselves, so everything that the signer interacts with will actually be you and your company. You'll see here that this is just a standard HTML template, so you can customize it however you like. You can add your company logo and even personalize it with a customized message. So the signer goes to the click here to review. And this is where the link will take your customer. They don't need to download anything. The link actually takes them to a secure web page, which we call our deal stream interface, where the sender and signer actually have the opportunity to collaborate back and forth if need be. This is all customizable, so you can have your reps' pictures, email, direct line. It's branded with your company logo. You'll see here is where they will actually review and sign the documents that you sent them. So they click on the review and sign, and it takes them to the document to electronically sign and submit. We make it very simple for the signer, and we even have a step-by-step guide to the required fields that need to be signed. As a default, this is just set up so the signer simply types in their name, but you can also set it so signers can draw their signature with their cursor or use a biometric signature, which is just their finger, on a tablet or mobile device. That also goes for any outside salespeople that you might have. If they are in front of a customer, they can actually get the signature at the moment through any smartphone or tablet. It's actually called our in-person signing feature, so that's also an option. After the customer signs the document, it actually takes them back to the deal stream, and you'll see that the document has been signed. This is a chance also for the customer to add any additional comments and or make a payment. So the signer simply goes to submit payment, and they type in their credit card information, which allows you to receive the payment right away. We are PCI compliant, and we work with your existing bank or processor through a gateway, so you do not need to change anything on your side, which obviously just adds to the ease of implementation. And again, this is all optional. Once the payment is collected, the signer gets confirmation that it was successful. It will take the signer back to the deal stream, and you can see that the payment has been collected by way of a check mark and that the document has been signed. All of this integrates back into Salesforce, so you can actually see if the customer has opened up a document but it hasn't signed, or if there's an instance where you have multiple signers, you can actually see that it's partially signed. It's just a really good way to track so you know what is going on throughout the whole process. This also rings true with the payment option as well. You'll be able to see if the payment has been submitted directly in Salesforce. So why does all this matter? Why does this matter to you as a Conga user, and why is there no other solution like us out there? As stated before, we're not just an e-signature provider. We, along with Conga, actually help you automate that last mile, starting with the document creation on the Conga side, the collaboration between you and your customers, electronic signature, and then the payment. As your company progresses, we are right there with you, helping along the way to find solutions to make your sales process easier and more cost-effective. From our price to our ease of implementation, and certainly our amazing customer and IT support, Certifying Conga works with your business to save time and money and really streamline that last step of your sales process. So I don't want you to take my word for it. I'd like to introduce you all to a very special guest and a very valued customer that knows firsthand just how to utilize Conga and Certify working together, and that would be Stacy Thorne from HomeSphere. So Stacy, thank you so much for being here and welcome.
Hi, and thanks for having me today. Like Laura said, my name is Stacy Thorne, and I'm a business systems analyst with HomeSphere. Just a little bit about HomeSphere. We provide the residential construction community with digital lead generation and customer loyalty solutions. We've been in business for over a decade and are based out of Lakewood, Colorado. Our sales managers are located all over the country, and they use Salesforce to manage their accounts and opportunities, and right now we currently have 23 users on Salesforce. So prior to using Salesforce, our sales managers used a custom application to enter and send out paperwork for electronic signature. Our paperwork packet includes a home builder profile, an enrollment form, and an IRS W-9. The process that we had worked well, but it was very difficult to manage. Whenever we wanted to change something to the system, we had to engage a developer. This included changes to fields that we were tracking, changes to the paperwork templates, and even modifications to the expiration timeframes. We also didn't know whether the documents were ever even opened by the home builder, and we couldn't easily resend documents without actually canceling and recreating a whole new set of paperwork. So about 18 months ago, when HomeSphere decided to implement Salesforce, part of the implementation requirements was to continue with an electronic signature process. We looked at a couple of different options, but ultimately decided to go with the Conga Certify solution for a couple of reasons. First, the pricing was very competitive for small businesses, and we also really liked the professional signing experience. We worked with a consulting partner named Vertiva, and they helped us with the initial setup and configuration. After that, our system is now completely managed by our Salesforce administrator. When our sales managers want to send out paperwork for signature, they simply just click on a custom button that we have on the opportunity screen. This performs some validation rule checks to make sure that all the required fields are populated, and then Conga Composer merges all of the information to create the enrollment application. This includes that builder profile, the enrollment forms, and the W-9. Once the documents are created, Certify prepares them for electronic signature. One of the benefits of using Certify is that our sales managers get to send out a personal message with their documents. This is something that they had asked for in our custom system, but we could never deliver, so they were very excited with this feature. So then also when the home builder actually receives the email, it's branded with the HomeSphere logo and includes that message. It's usually things like instructions for how they need to sign the paperwork. And when the home builder actually accesses the documents, they see that message again, as well as a picture of their sales manager, which is just a really nice personal touch. Another one of the features that we really like with Certify is the tracking that comes along with it. We can easily see when documents were sent, when they were viewed, when they were opened, when they were signed. That's all right in Salesforce. We also really like the red receipt email that the sales managers get whenever a home builder opens the documents or reviews them. And if a home builder can't find their email for some reason, our sales managers can quickly resend them the documents without actually having to regenerate an entire new set of paperwork. I think the biggest benefit of the Conga Certified solution is the flexibility that we now have to make changes to any part of the contract process. We don't have to modify code anymore. We can easily add and remove fields, require more fields, change the template, change the expiration dates, all without the need of a developer. Another benefit is that our home builders have to scroll through the document to actually sign it, so this improves our chances that they're actually reading the document. The signing experience is also much more professional and very simple. We don't get any more questions on actually how to sign the paperwork, and our sales managers are kept up to date with the paperwork status through email notifications. So we've been very happy with the Conga Certify solution with Salesforce, and we really enjoy the support that we get from both companies as well. I think that's about it.
Thank you so much, Stacy. That was great. We really appreciate your time and sharing your story of how you guys utilize Conga with Certify. Thank you so much. Now we do want to go ahead and give away that Dreamforce conference pass. So the first person to answer the question in the chat window will win an all-access pass to this year's Dreamforce. So with that being said, in what year was the first Dreamforce held? So the year that the first Dreamforce was held, there were actually 1,300 attendees. And last year, I'm sure a lot of you know that there were over 120,000 in attendance, with an expectation of over 130,000 for this year. So And while we're waiting for the winner, we'll actually have another fun fact in regards to Salesforce. They actually have the approximate date for Dreamforce for the next 13 years. Salesforce says that this is necessary in order to book their venues and coordinate with other major events in the San Fran area. So pretty exciting stuff. So while we're waiting for that, we will go on and talk a little bit about pricing as well as Q&A. So I'm sure all of you want to know what's it going to cost. And we actually have special pricing for our webinar attendees today, which consists of 50% off standard pricing, available actually until the end of August. So everybody should definitely take advantage of that and take advantage of the Conga Certify webinar pricing. All of my direct contact information is here below. You can also get a hold of me directly with any questions or set up a demo or any specific pricing questions. I'd be more than happy to answer any of those. But Chris, if you're ready, we'll go ahead and get ready for the Q&A portion of the webinar, and we'll be all set.
That's great, Laura. Thank you so much. And Stacy, again, thanks so much for joining us. Quite a few questions from the audience today, so I'll get started. Laura, here's a question. How is the payment reflected in Salesforce? Is it a record of to itself, or are they fields on the opportunity or on the record? And do you provide a transaction ID for that payment?
Right, so that's a good question. We actually do, just like the signature page, the contract, we will actually have separate spots for the contract and the signed link as well as the payment. So you can actually go into that transaction and see all of the information. We can also get you all of the transaction information even more in depth. And I'd be more than happy to show anybody who wants to see what that looks like. We have a demo, kind of like a dummy site that we can go ahead and show you all of how that works. All of that transaction information also, too, is on your processor in the back end, however you have it now, just because we have a gateway that will work with the processor. So you can still get all the information on your end, but we also have a way to store it in a secure fashion in Salesforce.
Great. Thank you so much. Our next question, what if a customer doesn't want to sign electronically? What other options do they have?
Sure, that's another great question. We, like I had mentioned in the webinar, given the opportunity, 97% of people do prefer to sign electronically, but we have an option called Print, Sign, and Fax that actually allows your customer to do just that, print it off and do a wet signature and actually scan it back to us, scan it back to a barcode. So the nice thing about that is that it's still going to come back to you electronically, and it still goes into Salesforce. You're actually not getting any paper back because they're scanning it into a barcode that just goes automatically into Salesforce.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. You mentioned the special pricing. Is that a per user pricing, and how long is that contract with Certify, Laura?
Sure. Yes, it's per user per month, so it's $12 with the special pricing per user per month with a minimum of 5 users. All of our contracts are annual, so 12 months. If there's a situation that it's more feasible for people to pay monthly, we can go ahead and set that up. Not a problem. The actual contract is still a year, though.
Wonderful. And do you have transactional pricing available?
Yes, we do. So that's another great question. Within our Certify for Salesforce, with the users, you get unlimited documentation. So if you're a low transaction type of company, we can look at that pricing compared to the user pricing. In this instance, since it's only $12 a user, it still might be more cost effective to do it per user pricing. But if there's a specific instance where we need to talk numbers, it's not a problem. We can see what makes the most sense as far as pricing is concerned.
Wonderful. Great. Next question. How are the credit card numbers stored when they're entered into that payment gateway?
So they're actually stored within Salesforce. They're masked. So the only people who can see them are the ones who have permissions. And again, it goes directly to your processor. That way we can see once they put in the credit card if it's approved or not. does go back into Salesforce, and then again, like I said, since it is PCI compliant, we, like a super admin would have access to it, or whoever you need to give access to it. Otherwise, if a rep goes in there, they won't see any of that information. They will actually just see if it's paid or if there's an outstanding balance. They won't see any of the credit card information.
Great. Next question. Is it possible to have multiple signers and multiple signing locations? And if so, how many?
Yep, absolutely. Right now, we have it up to 16 signers. So I'm not sure if anybody has that many, but for some reason we do have up to 16. Yeah, but that's not an issue. You can have multiple signers, multiple signatures. You can also have it if you need one signer to sign, 5 things and the second signer to sign 10. It all works as far as your workflow, that the first signer will sign what they have to, and then the second signer will receive it and they have to sign what they need to. So there's multiple use cases and workflows that we work with.
Got it. That leads actually into the next question, talking about, is it possible to route signers in a specific order? And I'm assuming that answer is yes.
It is, and anything, if you have multiple signers, the first signer will get it, the second signer will not receive anything until actually the first signer has signed everything. So it just works, and it's quick and easy that way. People aren't having a document just sit there waiting for it to get signed. They actually won't receive it until it's their turn.
Great. Next question. I have a client who needs to collect bank account numbers and routing information, but not collect payments. Is there a solution or a way to collect this information, put it into Salesforce, but not run it through the processing step?
Yep, absolutely. We have a couple ways around that. We can actually capture the information at the time of signing and just have it captured in Salesforce, and kind of works the same way with the credit card numbers. We would just have it masked, all of their information, so only the appropriate people can see that. And there's also other solutions where we can have them sign a document and put the fillable information in and have that masked when it comes back in. So there's multiple solutions to that use case that we can definitely help out with.
Wonderful. Great. Question about the payments feature. You mentioned it's optional. Is there an additional fee for that payments feature, and how much is it?
Yep. So that's another great question. The payment bridge is optional, and basically how that works is that you're going to buy it in tiers of transactions. So however many transactions that you're sending out, for instance, maybe you're only doing 500 transactions for the whole entire year, something like that would cost you $775 for the whole entire year. So there are different tiers. If you have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, if you want to just get a hold of me with specific numbers for that person who asked that question, I'd be more than happy to tell you what tier you fall into, or even just give you the module so you can see the tiers itself to see where you would possibly fall into.
Great. And for the person who asked that question, you can see Laura's contact information on the screen there, her email and phone number. Please give her a call for those specifics on those payment tiers. The next question, what about ACH payments? Are those supported with Certify?
So right now we actually have, it's in our pipeline, Q4 is when we're supposed to be able to take those type of payments. Right now it is just credit cards, but we do have some customers that are waiting for that we're working on now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Back to a signing question. If you have 2 signers, for example, can signer number 1 sign electronically and a subsequent signer number 2 sign by that fax method?
Yep, absolutely. So signer number 1 would just sign electronically, and then when signer number 2 gets it, that it's ready for their signature, they would just be given the option to print, sign, and fax, and it would still, again, come back electronically. So not a problem with that.
Great. This next question actually I could answer because it talks about integration with Conga, specifically Conga Workflow, and does Certify work seamlessly with Conga Workflow? Currently that is a roadmap enhancement to our Conga Composer integration with Certify. So currently the screen that you saw earlier on in the webinar through the Conga Composer user interface is currently the way that you can initiate that Certify signing process. But the Conga Workflow Conga Conductor and some of those automated features are on our roadmap, and look for those soon. The next question talks about mobile devices. How does the signature feature work with a laptop versus, say, for example, a mobile device where they would sign with their finger? What's the different signing features like that?
Sure. So there's multiple ways that you can sign. If you're on a laptop or you know, a desktop, you can actually just type in your name, like you saw there on the webinar. It comes up in cursive, or you can actually have a mouse enabled, so your signer can sign with the cursor, actually drawing their name, or if they're on an iPad or an iPhone or any tablet or smartphone, they can either type it in just like you normally would, type in anything, or you can use your finger. So there's multiple ways, and you have given your customers multiple ways to sign as well.
Great. And a couple more questions that just came in. One is, how long do you store the signed documents, Laura?
That's a great question. We actually keep them for a year stored. We have extended storage for an additional fee that we can store them up to 7 years.
Okay. And then the last question is asking about Certify support. Do you offer support services, and are there fees with that?
Yep. So one of the great things about Certify is that all of our fees are included in that per user pricing. So the $12 a user per month gets you the implementation, the setup, support, customer support, IT support, and training. So we do offer a lot of support, but we do not charge for it.
Wonderful. That's great. Well, those are all the questions that I have. We can make the announcement that we did have a correct answer for the first year of Dreamforce, and that first year of Dreamforce was 2003. So we will be in touch with the participant who got that correct answer and who gets that complimentary Dreamforce 14 full conference pass. So thank you very much. That's all the questions we have. Laura, did you want to finish up with anything?
Nope, I think that's it. I appreciate everybody getting on the webinar today, and please feel free to reach out to me via email or phone if you have specific questions and just want some pricing information or have specific questions about functionality. Feel free to reach out to me at any point.
Certainly. And as Conga customers, you know you can reach us as well. Any questions you may have about the Conga Composer Certify integration, by all means reach out to us as well. We're happy to help. And thank you again, everyone, for your participation today.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Laura.